Hello, this is Jessica Wheelock with New Signature. Today I'm going to show you how to use SharePoint Online to utilize lists and dashboards and content query web parts to sort of create that. Well, I'm just basically going to show you how to use task lists and content query web parts to dynamically display what tasks are due on a given day for a given person, and just some different ways to do that. So this is for Newell Rubbermaid, and I know you guys have been asking for this for a few weeks, and I apologize for the delay. I'm just going to kind of start from scratch and show you how you would build this kind of out of the box. So what you're looking at here is Office 365, kind of with all the bells and whistles out of the box. There's no customization with what you're looking at here, but this is like the full suite of everything that Office 365 has to offer. First thing I'm going to do is kind of go to our SharePoint online world to get started and just see what my options are for demo purposes. Go over here to this Contoso website. If you're familiar with any of the Microsoft training materials, you should be familiar with Contoso. It's one of their fictional companies that they use quite frequently with all of their training materials. Anyways, let's go look at their sales and marketing site. Go up here to this little gear and go down to site contents. All right, and let's just pretend that you're a project manager and you've got 3 or 4 different projects that you're working on. And let's go ahead and create some task lists for those projects. So to do that, I'm going to add a few apps, and they're just all going to be task lists. So let's create a task list, and we'll call it Project A. Let's create that. You'll notice it's now there, and it says new, which is kind of handy. It doesn't have anything in it, so it says 0 items. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to go ahead and create a Project B. And let's go ahead and create a third one. Okay, so I have 3 different project task lists. So let's go ahead and populate each list with some data. So I'm going to click Edit. And I can just start typing random items, or and since this is a demo, you know, it doesn't have to be very structured. So let's Christmas is coming up, so make it holiday-ish. So make a due date of, select from the calendar. Since we're going to be, we want to, for the purposes of this demo, I want to be able to show you stuff that's due tomorrow, stuff that's due the day after tomorrow, and maybe 2 days from now. We'll say this is going to be due on on the 9th. And I want it to be assigned to me. I'm logged in as the administrator, so we'll put that. Okay, just going to close that. We have family coming over, so I'm going to put clean the house. We'll say that's due tomorrow. But excellent for today. Change that real quick. It's going to be due on the 8th. And again, it's assigned CIE administrator. Set up yard decorations. I'm not going to be assigned to that. I'm going to have that due tomorrow as well. But we're going to assign that to somebody else. So we'll put Kelly Kraut. And let's put another task for 2 days from now. And that will be bake some pies. Okay. So let me hop over to project B. We'll make this more of a work-related project. Oh yeah, gotta click edit, that would help. So, let's say create statement of work for client for review. I'll have that due. I'll have that one due tomorrow. Assigned to me. Submit travel expense reports for last week. Leave that due on Wednesday. I know these aren't really project related per se, but they're just for demonstration purposes. So you can see how you could apply it to really anything. And let's put Philip project plan for Office 365 deployment. I'll have that due on Thursday. Also assigned to me. And I think that's good enough for project B. And let's add a few things for project C. We'll make this an HR project. How about this can be an HR onboarding process development project. So we can say that we're going to have our kickoff meeting for project. Due date will be tomorrow. Um, say define that would probably already be done. I'm just putting something for the sake of putting something. So we'll have that due Wednesday. Set budget for project and have sponsor approve the Tuesday. Okay, so just to review, let's briefly go back and look at the tasks and who they're assigned to. So notice that everything except for the setup yard decorations for project A is assigned to me. So just keep in mind that for the items that are due tomorrow, setup yard decorations will not be listed because it's assigned to Kelly Kraut. So when I set up our content query web parts, I'll mention that again, because when I set it up, I just want to see the stuff that I'm responsible for. When I'm looking for what's due that's coming up tomorrow, what's due that's coming up 2 days from now that I'm responsible for. Same thing goes, with these, everything that I assigned to me, but you'll be able to understand and hopefully apply that moving forward. If you choose to use SharePoint Online, you can see how that would apply with other projects and task lists if you use it and utilize it among your workforce. So let's go back to site contents, and let's say that we want to create like a dashboard, like I just mentioned, for me to view in one spot everything in a neat and orderly fashion, everything that's coming up that's due in the next couple days. So what I would suggest would be to create a page. So let's go here and look at pages. I'm going to say create new. And let's just say, I'm going to call it a project dashboard. You can put a space here if you want. I'm going to select this 5-column page layout. It's one that I like to use. You can use any that you want though, really. Then hit create. You notice that it's already checked out by default. That's good because you want it to be in edit mode. Oh, that's good. And hit back. Not sure why it did that, so let's try this again. Click a page. So we will not use the 5-column. Let's just do a blank web part page. We'll create that. Okay, notice there's nothing here. That's the way it's supposed to look at first because we haven't added any web parts to it. So what I'm going to do is go up here and click my page tab and then click edit. So when it goes into edit mode, it looks a little bit funky. If you've ever gone into edit mode in the previous versions of SharePoint, you should be a little bit familiar with this funkiness. This is kind of what it does whenever it's in edit mode in the browser. If you scroll down a little bit, you see where you can add your web parts in the browser. So this is where we're going to add our content query web parts. Before we get into that, one thing you always want to make sure of before you start with content queries is to make sure that you are querying columns that are available throughout your site collection. So within Office 365 and SharePoint Online, they do utilize site columns and site content types, which is great. And within site columns, there is a column called due date, which is one of the ones that we were going to be querying. So that's there. That's great. We already know that. The other one is a column called assigned to. That's the other metadata field that we're going to be looking at. So those are two things you want to always make sure of before you start this process. But we already know that those are there, so we're going to move forward. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to use these center areas because I kind of want to view these side by side by side. I'm going to click Add a Web Part on center left, Content Rollup, Content Query, and Add. It takes a minute. I'm going to scroll down and then click Open the Tool pane. Let me unpin this right here so you can see that it's thinking. Here's your tool pane on the right. I'm going to expand Query. There we go. Okay. Just writing something down real quick. Okay. So we don't want to pull from the entire site collection because that would be pulling from this gigantic demo tenant that we're using. And for these purposes, we don't want to do that. We're just really pulling from this sales site. So I'm just going to tell it to browse. And remember, we had clicked on that sales and marketing area. So I'm going to select that and hit OK. And normally it would refresh and populate this box, but for whatever reason, my computer is not doing that. So I'm just going to type it in. Just like that. So if you scroll down under list type, the list type we're looking for are tasks lists. That's what we're pulling from. Those are the lists that we care about. Under content type, the content type group is going to be called list content types. And we want it to show the task content type within that content type group. Kind of a tongue twister. So I scroll down even farther. We do have some additional filters that we want to add. So remember, we're interested in seeing what's due today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. So for this particular web part right here, that's going to be what's due today. And we want everything that's assigned to me, and we want the due date to be equal to today. So assigned to is equal to me, due date is equal to today. I'll scroll down even further. I'm going to expand appearance, and right here where it says content query, I'm going to put today. I'm going to hit apply. This applies my settings, and we'll actually test the query to find any errors with it. And it looks like there are some. Let me just scroll up and read the message. Okay. So there will be some red text wherever the issue is. So let me just scroll down. Actually, I think I know where it might be. Yes. Okay, so when you see this message right here, cannot save all of the property settings for this web part. There's a problem with one or more of the field values below. 99% of the time, what that is referring to is under this presentation grouping. Sorry, it keeps jumping up to the top and I don't know why. Under this presentation grouping, if you expand that and scroll down, there's a URL path listed under this link field. Just delete that. And then scroll down, hit apply again. It'll run through the query process. Okay, so it returned no errors. I'm going to hit OK. The reason no tasks are showing up is because I didn't list anything as being due today. Everything has a due date of starting tomorrow. So we'll actually see items start to populate tomorrow. So let's move on to the next web part. If I go and once I'm done setting these up, what I'll do is I'll go into one of those project lists and I'll change a due date to today, and we'll see if it actually updates as a proof of concept. So let's go into Center and we'll configure that content query. Notice that it actually remembered what I was doing before. So remember, we want to open the tool pane. Go up here, I'm going to expand query, show items from the following sites and all subsites. We would click browse. If yours doesn't refresh and show like it's supposed to, just key in the file path. Remember, your list type is tasks. Content type we're concerned about. List content types. Content type group, my apologies, with the tasks. I'm looking for things assigned to me. And for this one, this is stuff that, pardon me, let me just miss that. assigned to me, and due date is not, we're not going to do today. We want a custom value. We want stuff that is due tomorrow. So to get that value, it's really today plus 1. So all you have to do is in this box, put plus sign 1. Very simple. I'm going to go ahead and look under this presentation grouping and remove that URL path so it doesn't hang us up like it did last time. And I'm going to go ahead and change the name to tomorrow. Hit apply. And we'll see if it returns any errors. Okay, doesn't appear that it returned any errors. Let's see. Here we go. We have some items that it's returned. Okay, let's go ahead and configure. Well, let's hit OK so that it saves our settings for that web part. Those are items due for tomorrow that are assigned to me. Let's go ahead and configure our items due for the day after tomorrow. And then let's validate that it's showing the things that are in fact assigned to me for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And let's assign something that's due today just to make sure it's working like we want it to. And then we'll call it a day. So remember, we're going to add a web part, content rollup, content query, add. Open the tool pane. Show items. I'm going to browse, select your site, click OK. If it doesn't populate, type it in. Type it in correctly. List type. Content type group. List content types. Task content type. Show items when assigned to is equal to me. And this one is going to be day after tomorrow. So due date is equal to today. And just like how we calculated the tomorrow field, the day after tomorrow is just simply a plus sign and 2. Let's get rid of our URL path. Let's fix the appearance. Day after tomorrow. And apply. What did I do? Ah, Well, I thought that's the same that I put before. Let me just double check. Do it one more time. We'll try it like that. And if that doesn't work, I'll see if I could just copy and paste from the other content query part. Okay. So let me just open up this one real quick. Control A, Control C. I'm going to scroll down and hit OK so I don't break anything. I'll go back. Open tool pane. There it goes. Sometimes it takes a few minutes and goes a little bit slow on my computer every now and then. Okay, so try this. Control V. So we want to do tasks. List content types. Task. Assign to equal is equal to me, and due date is equal to today plus 2. Get rid of that URL path. Change that to day after tomorrow. And let's cross our fingers. Okay, looks like it accepted that. And there we go. So let's hit OK to save it. And let's just have a look. So tomorrow we have our kickoff meeting. We need to create a statement of work for a client review, and we need to clean the house. And the day after tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, we need to define milestones and set timeline for a project, submit travel expense reports, and buy Christmas gifts for the family. We have nothing due today because I didn't assign anything due today. So let me check in the page to get it out of edit mode. Hit continue. So it's just in a nice and neat list form right now. Uh, Real quickly, let's validate in Project A what we listed as due tomorrow. Before I do that, let me make test project dashboard, site settings. Let's look at navigation real quick. I'm just looking to see if I could quickly just add it to the right hand navigation, and I think I'm just in too much of a hurry to think through it. Let's try that. Okay, back to sales and marketing real quick. Let's go look at Project A. So for tomorrow, clean the house. Remember, set up yard decorations wasn't assigned to us, so or to me, so it shouldn't be there for tomorrow. And tomorrow, Thursday shouldn't be appearing because it's not the day after tomorrow. We should only be seeing stuff for today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so far, that is valid. Sit back. Let's look at Project B. Create statement of work. Submit travel expenses. So how about this? Let's everything that's Thursday. Let's change that due date for today. Go back to A. Edit. Make that the 7th. And let's look at C. Look at our dashboard. Voila. Okay, so now I'm seeing the things that were previously due for Thursday that I changed to being due today that are assigned to me. Everything that's assigned to me that's due tomorrow, and everything that is assigned to me that is due on Wednesday or the day after tomorrow. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you can use SharePoint Online in its out-of-the-box state to configure and leverage content query web parts and task lists and dashboard features to manage projects. Please let us know if you have any further questions. And again, my name is Jessica Wheelock, and I'm with New Signature in the Application Infrastructure Division, and look forward to working with you. Thank you so much, and have a great day.